there's about 500 VA positions, which, Dave, that's increased from, from 30 years ago it was 15 to 20, 20 years ago it was around 50, 10 years ago there were 100 and something, 5 years ago there were 250, and presently we have 270 full-time. Now I wouldn't be surprised over the next couple of years to project to go to 600, and that's the reason why we're kind of addressing this. The landscape has changed very, very dramatically, and will continue to do so. And we're getting information from our members that, gee, they'd love to be able. We're the only two states in the whole hall here tonight. We represent two states.
Right.
Our people.
Well, so I'll give you a typical example. I'm prior Navy. I'm now Public Health Service. I maintain 3 licenses. I have a license in California, Arizona, and Florida. And you get those licenses early in your career because you just kind of think you may end up retiring in those states. In fact, for Florida, I'd actually never even been there before I actually got a license. So, someone told me it'd be a good place to retire with the beaches, so I kind of did that. But you maintain those licenses over your career, and then you kind of, very few people actually stay in the armed services for a full career, because a 20-year career is actually a very difficult career. So I don't know the percentages, but very, very rarely do you have someone go a full career. In fact, even in my class alone, out of 10 people who, I didn't get a scholarship, but people that got scholarships and what have you, I think there's only one member that's still active in the Navy that I know. One member who's one of the reserve officers in the Navy. But other than that, everybody's kind of gone their own way in civilian. So, you know, the question comes up, you know, why are we up here? What are we asking for? When we have membership that's involved in AFOS, they don't have the ability, they can, but they don't have the easy ability to go ahead and join another state organization. So for my situation, I'm in the state of New Mexico right now. I don't have a New Mexico license. However, when New Mexico issues come into play, I'm not really a part of that discussion, or I'm not part of that advocacy effort besides just being involved in the AOA. So what we're trying to do is allow our members to join other organizations really at a more financial viable situation.
To their benefit, and the reason is automatically they're going to come to our society because our annual dues are $100 a year. No one can compete with that. So it's almost an automatic that when they join the AOA and they're a member that fall into the federal service, they're going to come to AFOS. But because our annual dues are so low, what we want to do is get them to increase their membership in your affiliates. Let them be a part of your community. Many of our VA, the vast majority of our VA optometrists will spend a lifetime in that particular state, but they're practicing in a different state, a federal reservation. And what we really want to do is make it financially conducive that maybe they can join both societies and they can have the choice of being an AOA member through that state or through us. We don't care. And that gives a great transition and gives you a great opportunity for contribution from these people. And as you saw what happened in California this year, whatever happens on a federal reservation also affects the state. And this, I think the end result would be that you would actually find that you could gain membership that you don't have now. These people exist, but you don't know about them because they're only exclusively with AFOS. And that's kind of the impact of what we're trying to say.
Right. And everybody, I mean, we have the thought that you're going to go into the civilian world at some point in time in your career. Either you're going to get out when you're in, or you're going to go ahead and transition after. But the biggest obstacle, I mean, we can't get away from the cost issue. You know, when you talk about states and someone says, well, go join Arizona State. You know, I don't know what Arizona's fees right now, but it's usually a significant amount of money comparably. And so you have to be extremely motivated to say, well, I'm going to go ahead and pay full fees in Arizona in order to participate while I'm in Arizona. Even for me now in New Mexico, I mean, I could participate as far as being there locally, even without a license. I could be an advocate for New Mexico. But that's really not available unless you really want to put out the money. And that's kind of an obstacle. I mean, you can't get away from that fact. So I think when we talk about what we're looking at, we use California as a good example. California has what we're desiring. They have an actual federal service category where they allow their optometrist to join the COA as a federal service optometrist, and they give them a discounted fee. Their particular discount is half of their actual full rate. But we think it allows those members that are interested in that to participate in
It's a great offer, we think, in terms of gaining membership for you. It also gives a great source of information and knowledge to your particular state affiliate. It's a great win-win situation. Vast majority of all of our membership is going to transition into the local community. To us, it's a win-win situation. I get queries once a week from federal service optometrists. I'd like to go to this state, and we go even to the websites, and the vast majority of all of the affiliate websites don't even address the membership categories that you have and the fees that you have. It's a conundrum in trying to figure out this kind of a difficult situation. I see we have a California representative over there. Please.
And I do want to speak in favor of this for a number of different reasons. Some of our most phenomenal volunteers have actually come out of the VA systems, especially as we go forward with any kind of scope expansion, certainly addressing some of the issues that have been involved with the Veterans Administration system. Interestingly, when this came up, originally the understanding that we grossly misunderstood was the request was that they would have the same benefits and only pay their AFOS membership, when in fact it was dealing with this discounted rate. And a number of those individuals said that they want to be part of your state associations, but the full ride can be financially prohibitive for them, especially when they get that same type of representation with the AFOS voice. But you're missing out on a huge pool of volunteers in your associations. So if you do have a military base, a Veterans Administration hospital, an Indian Health Service, there are so many really enthusiastic folks, and especially because the scope that they're allowed to practice at those facilities far exceed what at least we're able to do in California. They've also been very imperative in our educational training of doctors, so that we can say, look, we've trained the doctors, now let's allow our doctors to do what they've been trained to do. We have a great resource of individuals to provide that. So thank you.
She's a plant for us.
Thank you, Armin. Yeah.